ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितमेन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिधि नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया दीपश्चक्षुदशतो वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यः पतितानां हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी दशमानन सती देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री गोविंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचंद्राय वेदसे नाथाय रघुनाथाय सीताय पतये नमः। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरं गिरम् आरुह्य कविता शाखं वंदे वाल्मीकि कोकिलम। Offering our pranams to Valmiki Maharshi. Jai Sri Ram. We will continue the quality of Kritadnyata. As we were discussing yesterday, Udara Sarvayevahi, that is the foundational principle of Krishna's Lord Ramachandra, Lord Narayana's quality. That is their dharma, and therefore, if somebody comes to them asking for support, asking for help, more than the Ishwari Bhava, there is a Sevaka Bhava. Right? Of course, Sri Bhagavan is Ishwar, but he is willing to take service of his devotees. One of the most enduring, most loving picture is Krishna driving the chariot of Arjuna. And he feels privileged. As we were discussing that the sages in the forest of whichever part of the forest Lord Ramachandra met, when they came and asked him what he did, basically he was telling them that it is not that it is your adhikar to engage me in your service. Said, don't make me feel I'm doing something special. Rather, you are allowing me to perform a dharma. So it is but natural somebody offers you something, that is the disposition of the Bhagavan. If somebody does something good for you, what do? You become very grateful. Kritadnyata. Full of gratitude for engaging or offering you something tangible. You see the whole principle of any avatara, Udara Sarvayavai. That is the flowing line. And therefore, there was a great poet, Purandar Das. He explained one of his poetry that what is the quality of the Lord. If you stand and chant, ನಿಂತು ಪಾಡಿದರೆ ಕುಳಿತು 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 ಕೇಳುವನು, ಮಲಗಿ ಪಾಡಿದರೆ ಕುಳಿತು ಕೇಳುವನು. If you sleep and chant, he sits and listens. If you sit and chant, he stands and listens. If you stand and chant, he dances along with you. The eagerness of Bhagavan is much greater than the living entity. So, in the Ramayana, it is explained that when Sri Ramachandra was walking towards Guha, Shringi Berpur, right? Bhagwan himself, Ramachandra Bhagwan himself is walking towards Guha, walked so long to meet Guha, and Guha took few steps. Right? He left his village and he started walking towards Ramachandra. Even though Ram had walked more than Guha, the overwhelmed response by Sri Ram is so fascinating in the Valmiki Ramayana. Embracing him and then accepting him almost like his brother. Please understand, right? For somebody to be humble, he has to practice. It doesn't come. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks about this, that one has to practice, actually practice humility. But here for Ramachandra, being grateful is a natural quality because his previous disposition of being Dharmagya allows him to be naturally grateful. Just like it is explained in the Vaishnava literature that when somebody goes to see the dance of a Ganika, Nartaki, right? He has never been to the temple. Temple has nothing to do with him, but he goes to watch a dance of a great Ganika. And as she is dancing, his mind is completely absorbed in her. And as she moves little bit away, his glance accidentally falls at the lotus feet of the beautiful deity of Lord Vishnu. Now, this person, there is no change. But the person who's sitting on the altar, he becomes extremely happy that at least today he came. That is the character of Lord Narayan. That is the character of Lord Vishnu. And therefore, in the Vishnu Sahasranam, it is explained that he closes his eyes not to see the limitation, and he opens his eyes to see the potential. Right? So therefore, in the Ayodhya Kand, it is explained, Na smartyavapakarana. Sri Ramachandra is known for not forgetting even the small contribution what somebody has done. Small contribution. And therefore, whether it is Sri Ram or Sita Mata, beautiful explained that when the festival of coronation was happening, Ram is coronated, they are sprinkling lots of color. One of the color was gulal, red color, right? When it flew in the sky, when they sprinkled that color in the sky, Sita Devi, she had tears in eyes. She had tears in her eyes, with full of kritadnyata. There was joy, but there were tears also because she remembered Jatayu's blood. Dekho, when somebody goes to their past, generally it gives rise to trauma. Right? Going back to their past, especially bad events. And this was a brutal event where Jatayu was fighting the 10-headed Ravan, and Ravan was brutal. He was senseless in regards to attacking the old bird, and the bird fell in the pool of the blood. Right? Sita Devi remembered that when the color was sprinkled everywhere, offering her kritadnyata. That is the beauty of the qualities of the Supreme Bhagavan. And therefore, just a glance, and it is explained again in the beautiful writings of the many Vaishnavas. He said, Lord Narayan, Lord Ramachandra is like the goldsmith. A goldsmith, after doing his work in his shop, regularly what he does, he takes a ball of wax and he goes around in that place where he's working with gold, knowing very well there are some gold particles. He takes that wax and he starts rolling over all that particle, hoping to collect, extract, hoping to catch some of the smallest particle of the gold. That does not fill his belly. It's not that he's, oh my God, this is what my life is. It doesn't matter to him. But he values gold and he collects, and once in a while, what he does, he puts in the fire, wax is separated, gold is retained. Similarly, it is explained that Sri Narayan, Lord Ramachandra, what does he do? He is expert like that wax. collecting the smallest of contribution what the living entity does and magnifies it to the another extent, because again, please understand this, because he's seeing that somebody is favoring me, right? So that is the quality of Sri Vishnu. And because he's able to remember the limitations as potential, it is explained he is known to be uh, Karunya Atishaya. The Karuna is always disproportionately more. There cannot be calculation, I give 4 and Vishnu will give 8. No, the proportionate, it is very disproportionate. You are doing 1, he can do 15 also. You are doing 1, he can do 30 also. That is the calculation between the Jiva and Bhagavan. And then second is Bhakta Paradinatva. Bhakta Paradinatva means complete dependency on the devotee. Not the somebody who was declared, somebody who is real, where he has that devotion, right? Like our Bali Maharaj in the Bhagavatam, we see that what was his disposition. Imagine how he captured Lord Vishnu Vamandev by his disposition. In the conclusion of that prayer, right, Bali Maharaj told, he said, what a benefit. He's exhibiting actually the qualities of the Lord himself. In one sense, in essence, the Jiva and the Supreme Bhagavan exhibit the same qualities, right? Gunavatta. In quality, there could be oneness. In quantity, there is a difference. And therefore, Bali Maharaj is going away from there. Lord Vamandev has blessed him abundantly. As he is going, what does Bali Maharaj said? Oh God. He said, I came here, or Vamandev when he came here, I did not even rise and offer my obeisances, because he was surrounded by Rakshas, right? If you go to some sophisticated place where materialism is in prominence, pranam karna, namaskar karna, it is outdated, right? If you go to Sangeet Sabha, if you go to some traditional concert for Bharatnatyam, if you go for, the Vittal's concert, because there is still Guru Parampara, the student will go and touch the feet of the Guru wherever it is, doesn't matter. In the professional world, it is not there. So if somebody wants to offer also, they can only offer in the mind. So Bali Maharaj is saying, I simply offered my pranams in my mind and see the difference, what he has given to me. So each of the avatars, because that is the foundational principle of the avatars. And the same element is there, anyone who is very closely connected to Lord Vishnu, Karunya Atishaya, Bhakta Paradinitva, and Hita Chintaka. Always wishing welfare for the living entity, because again, for his own identity. Kritagya and Dosha Avignata. One of the quality of Sri Ramachandra is a Dosha Avignata. Avignata means what? Not recognizing. So therefore, one Kuruttar Alvar, he explains, he says, Vedas call you as Ananadhina, right? You are not dependent. But I say you are Vai Paradhina, that you are Paradhina because you listen to the Prapannas, those who are surrendered. He said, oh my dear Lord, I object to being called as Sarvagya. He said, I don't accept your Sarvagya because there is one thing you don't know, that is the limitation of your own devotees. Avigya of the living entity. Their limitation is not known to you. Their fault is not known to you. You don't want to see the fault of the living entities. And therefore, Sri Ramachandra, imagine, glorified Ravan in his mind. When Ravan came to battle with Sri Ramachandra, Ram defeated instantly without killing him, and he sent him back. He said, "You go back." Right? As Ravan was going, Sri Ramachandra was hoping that he will change his mind. Hmm? In fact, in the Bhagavatam, the seventh canto, when all different devatas were offering obeisances to Lord Narsingadev for protecting Prahlad, everybody offered according to their own background. But the Vaikuntha Dutas, they said, "My dear Lord Narsingadev, he forgot his identity, but you did not forget. And therefore, to Prahlad, you are able to deliver." Right? Lord Narsingadev did not forget. They forgot. Lord Narsingadev remembered that ultimately this Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha are my eternal associate living in the spiritual world. Therefore, I will liberate them. So he said, how can you be called as all knower, Sarvagya, when you don't know the limitation of your living entities? So one may question, if you see all these stories look very spicy, look very fabricated, looks extremely, unreasonably kind to somebody who's not doing so good. Right? Then what is about the karma theory then? Right? Whatever you sow, you shall reap. Then how does it work? So karma theory, ativada of karma theory, unless you do, nothing will happen. Certainly the living entity's responsibility is to put an endeavor. But unless the final touch of causeless mercy is provided by Bhagavan, the completion doesn't happen. Therefore, ativada of karma theory is fruitless. There is karma theory, no doubt. Right? One has to endeavor. But at the same time, without that touch, 18.14 to 18.15, 16, every Shastra for that matter, when it is seen from the right perspective, you'll see such a coherence in everything. So therefore, what does the Supreme Bhagavan do? To bring back closer to the living entities, he provides Shastras, he provides the Gurus, he provides his own story, he provides, sudden empowerment, sudden experiences, sudden dreams, sudden, some kind of vision. So he'll picking up so many living entities to experience God, right? And then when Ram saw that Lakshman, Bharat were so much forcing him to come back, criticizing Kaikeyi once in a while. So Lord Ramachandra said, no, 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 don't speak like that. He said that do not speak ill about Kaikeyi, but speak about the qualities of Bharat. Right? One of the famous verse, not exactly in Valmiki Ramayana, but the commentary of Ramayana, it is explained when Ram returned to Ayodhya, eventually went and met everybody. Right? It takes courage that somebody has misunderstood you, somebody behaved wrongly to you, you can seamlessly walk to them and say, Ramchandra went to Kaikai and he just offered his obeisances to her, saying, if it was not meant for you, I would have not come in touch with Guha, Sugriva, Hanumanji, Vibhishan, the greatness of his father's love, the greatness of his brother's love, the commitment of Sita Devi. He said, I could have never known all these things. Therefore, my dear Kaikai Mata, I am very grateful to you. Right? So, therefore, this is the great responsibility shown, gratitude shown by the Lord, and ultimately Sugriv and Shabari. How gratefully, graciously Sri Ramachandra accepted their service and felt obliged by them. And therefore, it is explained, who is he? He is Pratamanjali Kinkara. Pratamanjali Kinkara means when you offer your Pratama Anjali Mudra, Namaskar. Pratamanjali Kinkara. A Pratamanjali Kinkara means that which makes you feel completely melted. Who? When you offer obeisances to the Supreme Bhagwan, he becomes melted, he becomes soft, he becomes empathetic. He starts crying because you are offering obeisances to you. Therefore, it's called as Pratamanjali Kinkara. And when Lord Ramachandra saw the contribution of Hanumanji and Vibhishan, right, these two people are still living, one in Kimpurushaloka, one in some other part, exactly which Lanka we don't know. Vibhishan comes regularly to worship Ranganath. And Hanumanji is sitting in Kimpurushloka, and wherever, whichever language you are speaking, Harikatha, Ramkatha especially, there he wants to be there. And that is what he asked benediction from Lord Ram. This Geet Ramayana and Marathi song is so beautifully compiled. एकच वर द्यावा प्रभू माझा एकच वर द्यावा. There he sings that song exactly Valmiki Ramayana made into Marathi, such a beautiful song, right? Ekach var, that I do not want liberation, because Hanumanji experienced the embrace of Lord Ram out of what? Lord Ram embraced Hanumanji out of gratitude only, that you have done so much for me, even 5 lifetimes I cannot, fulfill them. And therefore, I can only embrace you. Lord Ramachandra embraced Hanumanji, and therefore Hanumanji became so overwhelmed. He said, how can I give up this body? It has been embraced by Lord Ram. He said, Ekatsa. He said, give me only one benediction. And what was the benediction? Hey Ram, wherever your katha is going on, whichever part of the world, whichever language, all right, I want to be there to hear. Imagine how Hanuman is such a powerful personality. I remember a very good story to tell uh, in regards to, we're discussing about Purushartha and endeavor, see, Daiva, because next two qualities are connected to Satya Vakya Paripalaka and Dridavrata. Again, two qualities are so fascinating. Hopefully, tomorrow we have a longer class the day before Rama Janmabhoomi. Start at 6:30 only, but we can go for longer. So, this great police officer, Arvind Inamdarji, he told a story about Hanumanji's grace. And so judiciously, so aptly connected, when he became an IS officer, he had to deal with one case, a case of a murder of a cloth seller in the village streets. He would go in the bicycle and sell cloth, and he was murdered. So he went to that village from the town somewhere in the Marathwada region. I think he went from the town to village in a red bus. I said, sir, आपके पास गाड़ी नहीं था? He said, IS officer, imagine, in those times. Right, he went in the red bus with few of his people. There was no police station. They had a camp like a tambu, and they stayed there looking for a clue that who is murdered, and they did not get a clue for the next 3-4 days. Because of the heat, because of the bad water, the police cop were having diarrhea, and he was also sick. They said, let us wind up and go away. He said, no, I don't want to start my career with a failure. I need to find, so that I can continue to do the good work. The purpose was not his ego, purpose was, I need to do something good forever. And he did that, right? So they did not find the clue at all. And there was a Hanuman temple. He came to the temple. Then he told me, look, he said, prayer has its time. and prayas is its time. Right? We have to pray properly to get the clue from the Lord to perform our service. So I came to the temple as a police officer dealing with the murder case. What will he ask from Hanumanji? What will he remember? Therefore, one should remember the stories of Hanumanji, Lord Ram, so that we aptly remember certain situation even in our life and recollect that story with our own life. That is the reason he was telling me this story. And then he said, when he saw, he went to Hanumanji and said, hey, look. He said, you are the one, you are the original search party wala. You are the original search party person. You found Mother Sita. Give me some clues so that I can also do my duty. And he came back to his tambu, his tent. He was sitting there. And one girl passed by. A small girl passed by his camp. Everybody noticed, but nobody noticed. Pashyanapi pashyati. Everybody noticed, nobody noticed. Arvind sir noticed her, and suddenly something flashed in his mind. He thought, bring her, usko bula ke lao, call her. When they brought her, he looked at her cloth. It was a new cloth. He asked her name. Where do you stay? He spoke to her very nicely. I think he gave some toffee to her and he sent her. And he told one of his cops, follow her secretly and see which home she goes. They followed her. The guy's other cops didn't know what he was doing. They followed her, got to know where is her house. And sir went there with two of his cops, went inside, caught that guy, asked him, tell me, where did he get this cloth from? He was completely shocked. Within 3 minutes, he revealed the entire story that he had accidentally murdered that person. He wanted to take only money from, that's a cloth seller, but murdered happened. He got so panicky and he dumped that body in some place and brought all the cloth. And unfortunately, what happened when he had the cloth, there was also a small frock of a girl. He gave it to his daughter. And sir was connecting. There is no season why this girl wearing new cloth. Just see that clue he received. एक कपड़ा नया है कैसे सीजन नहीं है दिवाली नहीं दसरा नहीं कुछ भी नहीं why she's wearing new cloth and all the sutras was revealed. So Hanumanji graced, right? So here Hanumanji, embracing the Lord had embraced him. He remembered that I don't want to give up my body. I want to stay here and hear the stories of Lord Ramachandra, being grateful to Lord Ram, and Lord was more grateful to Hanumanji. Therefore, when it comes to gratitude, nobody can beat the Supreme Bhagwan in his quality of being grateful. And tomorrow we will try to do at least 4 qualities before the Ram Navmi. If possible, if we extend, the best 2 qualities are next 2 qualities are Dhrida Vrata and Satyavakya Paripalaka. And so fascinatingly it is explained the qualities of Dhrida Vrata for the Supreme Lord. Again, being connected to his first quality, Gunavan, Viryavan, Dharmagya, Kritagyascha, and the next 2 quality is of great value. We'll meet tomorrow. Jai Sri Ram.
Jai Sri Ram.